This is why cops are hated so much. And I have to give it to the people who took this footage. When a cop uses a nightstick, it is relatively in defense, not to beat somebody into helpless submission. Two of them took almost three officers to subdue one man, probably drunk, belligerent. True, he was resisting. But what gives a cop a right to take a nightstick, relatively hard wood, probably maple, rock hard maple wood, or hickory, and bust it across somebody's leg till it's broken in half? To me, that was uncalled for. And cops always ask why they're so hated. Why do people hate you? This is the reason. These are the reasons. You know, and this is one of the reasons I told one of my earlier subscribers, wrote a video, why the camera is what I call the future gun. This reason alone, to record the bastards in the act. See, because they can go in court and lie all they want. I mean, if it wasn't for a device like this, a camera, not this, but similar to this, Rodney King would have never been able to prove his case. Those officers somewhat would have got free. Nothing would have happened. Look at how many cases were in New Orleans. A old retired school teacher got the hell beat out of him. And if it wasn't for one of these, cops would have got away with it. They'd have walked free as a song. And the numerous cases where cops have bullied kids who used one of these. Well, not quite this, but a cell phone with a camera feature. So this was one of the greatest cameras. Cell phone cameras. This is a way of protecting ourselves without having to use lethal force. The person taking the photo never hurt either one of the cops, but was able to show video. Look at how much outrage, when a lot of my videos have been based on what cops do to their own people under their protection over simple regulations, getting the hell beat out of you. When people take one of these and recorded an officer being a belligerent to his duty, even cussing a citizen out, because they're being recorded. They said, we don't want you to record what we're saying. We don't want you to record what we're doing. We're doing our job, and they don't have nothing to fear from one of these. If a cop is truly doing his job, he should welcome these. But instead, this is what they protect us against. Now, right now, that person's probably going to get a large settlement out of the New York city budget. It's going to go to paying this man off for those cops doing bullshit like this. And then people have the gall to tell me, Johnny B, cops have the right to use force only to defend. Not if a person's running away and they have to drop them. That's another thing. So I always tell people to stand their ground and face them. When a cop decided to go the way of tasing you or beating you, like when you stand up for what you believe in, and a cop, decides out of the blue he don't like your political speech, or he don't like what you say or what you wear, and decide to teach a young punk or an old punk or a punk period in general a lesson. It's stuff like this that all citizens should be armed with. I strongly suggest people, and to one of my other subscribers out there, says, don't discount the Second Amendment. Have a gun. Good to defend yourself, but what is it going to do against 4 or 5 others who are probably better on? If you're going to do something like that, justify your action. One of these costs about similar to a gun. And they're just as effective, except you don't have to take a life. Now, if all else fails, pull the piece. But if you can use anything below the piece, I strongly recommend it like this. Because one of these cell phone cameras, just touch it, set it, it's good to go. I strongly suggest the ones with high capacity memory. The ones with the little cards in them, they can hold up to 4 gigs of compressed memory. They're a little bit more costly, but they're well worth it. So when you encounter police, take it, click it, throw it on the table. It's recording everything you're doing. Because that, America, is the only way you're going to truly defend yourself. Because when you go before court, a camera speaks louder. Their words, they're saying at that moment. Because like I said, any cop can get on the stand and says, Your Honor, I didn't know a thing about that. Mr. Citizen was being disruptive and I had to use force to put him down. This is how you tell your story, by showing unbiased. Camera don't lie. Camera looking right at them, showing what they're doing. Unedited photo, don't lie. Shows what's going on so everyone can see. You don't have to be a mind reader. The camera shows what's happening. Just like in this footage, when they showed this, probably in its entirety, would have showed this guy getting belligerent. But when it showed that cop using unnecessary force to take a nightstick, which is prone, it's meant to be non-lethal force. Knees, legs, arms, collarbone, never the head. Like a case a few years ago when a man out of Ohio, a big fat black man, was beaten because the officer repeatedly took steps to go for the head. And in training, if you've ever been baton trained, the thing they say you never strike is the head. Kill area. That's why they always suggest the collarbone, arms, knees, ankles, wrist. Any bendable point, like the elbow, quick release. Wrist, quick release. Knees, quick release. Quick release. When you go for the head or the leg, like that one throwing all of his weight into those blows, broke his leg. Yeah, they messed up. So I strongly suggest every citizen out there to not only carry a piece if you have to, but carry a cell phone or a video camera similar like this. Never know when it might help somebody.